My girlfriends from Dallas are finally coming for a visit this weekend, so I'm going to have lunch ready for them when they get here. I'm going to show you today how I made the spinach and mushroom quiche. Half of an onion in the skillet here is about a half of an onion, and I'm just going to saute that over a fairly low heat. While that's working, I'm just chopping up some mushrooms. This is just a package of plain button mushrooms. Wasn't at a fancy grocery store yesterday when I bought this, so this is what we had. You don't have to be careful with these mushrooms, just chop them up any old way. So you hear that beeping? That's the pie crust. It's been blind baking for about 20 minutes at 350 degrees, and you can see it's just slightly brown. I'm going to go ahead and take it out and let it cool. All right, I want you to see the onions. They don't have any color on them at all. They're just a little bit soft, and they've gotten a little bit yellowish looking and a little bit what's called translucent. They have a little bit of color, and that's okay, but I don't want to cook them any more than that. So all I'm going to do is I've got a big bowl here, and I'm just going to stack my vegetables in there as I get them ready. The next thing I'm going to do is cook the mushrooms. Okay, to do that, I'm going to turn up my heat quite a bit, almost really high, and I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there, don't need much. I used to just like sort of cook my mushrooms on a lower heat, but then this guy, he had, I think he's shut down now, Spice Man in Dallas. He had a really nice shop, and he sold the best mushrooms for like $10 a bag, whatever kind of mix of mushrooms you wanted, and they were great. But anyway, he said when you do mushrooms, make sure you do them on a really high heat, because that draws the liquid out of them really quickly, and then they actually saute. If you do them over a low heat, you know how all that liquid comes out of mushrooms, and then at that point they're just steaming. Doing it over a high heat lets them actually sort of saute and fry instead of steam, and you don't get all that juice, but you get more of a nice cooked caramelized type thing. I'm going to go grate the cheese, so I'm going to let you watch these mushrooms for me. Okay, do you see what I mean about the mushrooms? By cooking them over that high heat, they've gotten dried out and almost caramelized. It gives them a way better flavor than doing them over a low heat and letting all that water come out of them. In fact, the only time I ever got my family to eat mushrooms in something was when I cooked them like this, thanks to Jimmy at Spice Man's. Okay, now I'm going to have to turn this down a bit, this heat, and going to add a little bit more olive oil, because now I'm going to add some spinach to this. Okay, this is just a bag of spinach, you know, baby spinach that you get at the store. I'm letting a little bit of the water go in there. Sorry, that's sizzling. And it's the reason I used such a big pan, because I knew this was going to fill up a pan if I didn't use it. I'm going to put the lid on that so it can wilt down a little bit, and it'll cook way, way down. Here we go. Let's see what's going on with this spinach. All right, you can see that's completely wilted down, but there's still some liquid on there, so I'm going to leave it uncovered and turn that heat up pretty high so all that liquid can come out of there. You could drain it in a colander. You know, I might want to wrap it up in a towel and get the excess liquid out of there. That's probably a good idea. But anyway, while that was going on, I got 6 eggs, cup and a quarter of light cream, chopped up some fresh basil. Herbs are good in a quiche, whatever kind you have. And yeah, also folded a load of white cloves. So did all that while this spinach was cooking. Thanks for watching all the mushrooms and the spinach cooking for me, making sure they don't burn. And once this gets done and I drain this in a towel, I'm going to go over and assemble the quiche, and then we'll bake it at 350 for about 35 minutes or so. Okay, here's what I'm going to do to this spinach to get the liquid off of it. I'm just going to pick it up and put it in this colander. cut that heat off. And then I'm just going to mash the excess liquid out of there. If I can get that, then I don't have to use a towel and mess that up, because frankly, I'm in somebody else's house and these are not my towels. And I guarantee you, you press the liquid out of spinach with a towel, you're going to have a green towel. So I'm just going to try to do it like that. Maybe paper towel it a little bit and see if I can get most of that out of there. Okay? I'm also going to go ahead and throw this basil in with the mushrooms and onions. Super duper trying to get that spinach as dry as I can. If you're in your own house, by all means get a kitchen towel, dump this out in there, and just kind of wring it out. Apparently I need to buy me some towels that I can use and mess up on my own instead of this other person's. Okay, I'm gonna call that good enough and then go put the quiche together. Let's go. Okay, we are putting this thing together. And what I've got here is a cup of different cheeses. Maybe a little more because I got carried away shredding. But I've got Fontina, cheddar, and a little bit of Parmesan. Again, I'm using that because that's what I had in the refrigerator. This goes on the bottom of your crust. Okay? That's going to keep it from getting soggy. I had these cheeses because this nice Fontina and cheddar. I don't know if you watch my Instagram feed or whatever, but anyway, last week Joseph wanted me to teach him how to make real macaroni and cheese. So we did, you know, a bechamel with all these real cool cheeses in there. Okay, once you got your cheese in there, then your vegetables. And this was just a package of mushrooms, bag of spinach, and a piece of a leftover onion that I had in the refrigerator. It was about a half an onion. You can put whatever you want to in here. Put some leftover turkey in here, chopped peppers, whatever you want, whatever you got. Okay, that goes in, and then you're going to pour your egg and cream mixture. This was 6 eggs and 1 1/4 cups of light cream or half and half milk, just whatever. So I put a little bit of salt in there, about half a teaspoon. You don't need as much salt as you might because the cheese is kind of salty. And then I've just got some fresh ground pepper, maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon of that going in there. This is like those tri-colored peppercorns, but use whatever you got. Okay, pour that over the whole mixture. It's going to totally fill up that pie plate. Slow down a little bit. I'm going to hold a little bit of that back because otherwise that is totally going to overflow in the oven. I'm actually going to put a pan, like a cookie sheet, a baking tray, under this quiche in the oven so that if it does cook up, spill over, it's going to spill on the tray and not the oven. I got it all in there, didn't I? So now I decided I'm just going to poke some little of these grape tomatoes that I cut in half over the top of that, just because I thought it would be real pretty, and tomato goes so well with eggs and spinach. It's going to make it look a little bit prettier, and it's going to add another level of taste. If you've got a whole tomato, slice it up and put it on there. You see, it's going to kind of stay on the top and float, so it will bake like that and be really nice. It'll almost give it sort of a kind of roasted tomato flavor. All I'm going to do with this now is stick the whole thing into the oven. And sit down and make myself a cup of tea. So that's our finished quiche. I think it turned out pretty good, and we hope everyone enjoys it.